again with Project Cheat Code. As you can see, there's a lot going on, but today we're going to be installing the RaceChip tuner into this car. We're going to open the box, see what's going on, see what it comes with, kind of see how difficult this install is, or actually ease of install, and then we're going to see kind of what it does. So let's open the box and get to it. Got some install instructions. We'll probably kind of look at those. Got the box, got some wiring. Yep, this is going to connect to all of our sensors. Zip ties, nice. You don't see that very often. Some mounts for the box, I'm guessing. Yep, these are going to be mounts for the box. So yeah, they pretty much give you everything you need for install. So we can kind of get started. We'll look through the instructions, see kind of what sensors it taps into and stuff. The nice thing about this RaceChip is it's like probably one of the easiest and one of your cheaper options to kind of tune your car and get some more power and really take advantage of some of the other parts that you put on it. Like, as you can see, this car at this point has, you know, our Turner intake on it. It has a turbo inlet pipe, charge pipes. So, you know, with modern cars, they all use what's called load targeting tunes from the factory. So what that means is instead of the car targeting more of like an air-fuel ratio like older cars, where if you increased airflow, it would then pump more fuel, it's targeting a load. So bolt-ons like this don't necessarily mean power gain. You actually need a tune for that. So this is going to be probably one of your easiest and one of your more cost-effective ways of taking advantage of the other bolt-ons that you've done to your car. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull off the big old engine cover and reveal the monstrosity of wires underneath. We'll be tapping into some of these. They just supplied a little paper showing the correct way to plug in your plugs, because I think they can be plugged in upside down if you're not careful. Manufacturers like to do everything super universally these days. So it looks like we're going to be tapping into two sensors here, and if I just looked at the install instructions, it would probably help identify that. All right, so I've taken a look at the instructions, and it looks like that we're going to be tapping into two sensors with this. We're going to tap into the turbo boost pressure sensor and the manifold absolute pressure sensor. So that's going to be here, which I think it's in a slightly different spot on factory charge pipes, but on our car it's right here. And then the manifold absolute pressure sensor is up here on the manifold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this out, figure out the best way to run these wires so we can make this look clean, and then see where we can kind of put the box. And I like to hide it. It looks like in RaceChip's instructions, they have it hooked to a support bar. Our car does not have the support bar that they show in their instructions, so that's fine. I like to hide them up in these trays. There's normally plenty of space up there and someplace you can zip tie it, and it's pretty easily accessible on the fly. So that's probably the route we're gonna go. I just like to lay it out first, figure out kind of how we're gonna run these wires, the best place to zip tie them, see how much we can kind of tuck them and hide them, because nobody likes an ugly engine bay, even though this will be covered by a big engine cover. And we'll get a good plan together, and then we'll get this installed. Okay, so it's only gonna take you probably like 2 to 5 minutes to lay this thing out, decide how you want to route it and where you want to place your box. So that's about how long it took me, was about 3 minutes to look at this and decide. So A is going to go to your boost pressure sensor for your turbocharger, and B is going to go to your manifold absolute pressure sensor. So it looks like the best way to do this with the wire we have is we're going to do it like this, and we're going to run the wire up around here, and we're going to hide the box under this cover. So that way it looks nice and clean. Now, the box does have some very useful information on it. It has a little digital display that tells you what mode it's in. You can also use the app. It connects with an app, so you don't necessarily need that, but if you want to put the box somewhere out in the open, so it's just as easy as popping your hood, see what mode your box is in or your RaceChip is in, then you can do that. We'll probably end up using the app because that's what technology's for, so we're gonna hide the box. We're going to undo this panel. Same thing, quarter turns, be gentle, don't go crazy with these things. And a clip over here, and we're out. I'm not gonna undo the clip up here because we don't need to take this thing completely out, but I am going to undo this clip down in here. That's gonna be very difficult to see. So I'm gonna undo that, and then we're gonna pop it out so we can kind of get this up out of the way, because we're gonna run our wires right through here. Well, that sucks. I'll have to get that back later. We're gonna pop our wires down underneath this, run them up and around like that, and now we can just zip tie our box up in here and it'll be safe. Reinstall our rubber boot. Tuck this down underneath all of our stuff. There we go, you can barely see it. We just gotta get our clip back in. Try to be patient with this because you're almost definitely gonna drop this clip down into the engine bay the first time you try to do this. There we have it. So now that we've got this wire run and we kind of know where we're gonna put our box, we can plug in our sensors. And now that we retrieved our trusty screwdriver from the depths of hell, we can undo. So these clips have little white safeties on them that you gotta pop out like that, and then you can press down and unplug them. If you try when these are in like that, you're never gonna get it unplugged. So take a little screwdriver, just boop, pop it out, and then look at that, it works. So we'll unplug that. Now, RaceChip was so kind as to give us a little paper in with this harness to show us that we want the little guide rail down opposite of the clip. So that's the way this should hook together. You'll plug the factory harness into your RaceChip harness. Make sure you apply your safety connector, and then you'll plug the other end of the RaceChip harness into your sensor. And then they also have, they're a little bit different looking, but they also have little safeties on them. So you'll plug that in. This is your turbo boost pressure sensor. So same thing, we gotta undo safety clip, and we'll unplug, guide rail down, plug it in, reconnect your safety clip. I got a notification. And then RaceChip harness into sensor, safety clip. It's easy as that. Now you're ready to haul ass once we zip tie the harness in place so it doesn't look bad. So let's get that done and then we can kind of see what you do. Now that we've got our wiring all run and zip tied in a fashionable sense, we can reinstall our engine cover. It'll just go right back where she was. Look at that, like it didn't even happen. And we can now unplug the blank box. It's just a little box to kind of be in the plug for shipping, and install the RaceChip box. So there you go. We're gonna mount it up in here, but first I'm gonna turn the ignition on and kind of show you what it does. Okay, so we got the car running. The RaceChip's plugged in. Everything seems to be idling nice and smooth, so that's a good sign. Like I said, the really nice thing about the RaceChip is you can use the app, or the digital interface actually gives you the readout of what tune mode it's selected in. So you can do that, and you can select your tunes that way with the buttons, or you can use the app. Now we're probably gonna end up using the app because that's why we have the technology.
That's right, we do have the technology. I've got the app downloaded here and I can show you exactly how it works. So if you open it up, basically you can choose different driving modes on the fly while you're in the car. So if you don't have the app, you'd have to go into the engine bay and actually touch the physical RaceChip device to change the map setting you're on. So maybe you just got out of some traffic and you want to switch it to race, or maybe you have some people in the car, passengers, and you want to stay in eco. But what's really cool is you can choose between the 7 map settings for each mode. So for us, we're going to want race at 7, so that when we put it into race, it's all the way up. And I might want sport to be a nice even keeled 4, and I think I want eco down at 1. So you can change this at any time, and what's really neat is you can also set a warm-up timer so that the engine you're not asking too much of the engine right when you get the car on. And then so obviously you can change those at any time and be able to switch into the different modes. without having to go into the hood, you know, and change it on the physical device. You can change it at any time right on the app, which is really nice. You can also turn the tuning off altogether. That'll deactivate the tuning. If you need to bring it in for service or something like that, it's as easy as clicking the power button and then turning it back on when you're ready to have that extra power again. So that's the RaceChip app. Back to you, Matt.
So we can now get this thing mounted up in here, get our cover back on, and then we're done. All in all, this install took us, I mean, with me talking to you, 40 minutes. So if you at home with no distractions, I don't know, 15, 25, something like that. I mean, you really can't ask for an easier install for more power. So I'm gonna get this mounted and get this wrapped up and we'll be good to go. All right, we got the RaceChip all installed. Seems like every time we touch this car, it just keeps getting better. I'm really excited to see what this car is capable of once we get all of our awesome parts on. Don't forget to get entered to win this car. Remember, every $50 you spend on the website gets you an entry. And if you buy parts from any of our lovely sponsors on the build, it's double entries. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, check into our YouTube for more updates on this beast, and I'll see you on the next one.